Untold Truth every Friday at 6 p.m. The journey has just begun with Master Eric. Zalisa. A new kind of podcast getting to the root of hidden knowledge. You can join us on Facebook, Conversation with the Zalisa, and YouTube, Master Eric. Your journey has just begun. I'll tell you what. Let's go back to the music a little bit.
Let's go back to
until he gets his techno going. We're sorry about that, everyone. Okay.
Okay, good. I think we've
got
on
audio?
track. Great.
Hey, fast work. Thank you. So they just got audio. I see it on the board. So thank you for the little delay there for understanding. So, Zalisa. Today, we were pondering on what we were talking about, and I didn't even tell you because I didn't even know.
We didn't.
And then later today, because there was a couple cases that came to us, and I thought it's very important that we talk about this tonight so you understand how this might be happening to you. And what we're going to talk about tonight is astral traveling. What is it? And how is it done? And why do people do it? And how do they abuse it? That's the key. Because people that can do it, they're abusing it really bad. Now, Zalisa, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but what do you think, like a common person? I'm not saying you're common, but think of it like a common person.
Yeah.
What do you think astral traveling means?
Well, before I met you and you asked me that question, of course, I would say, well, astral traveling is probably communicating, have the gift of traveling, out of body kind of experience. Mm-hmm. And then after getting to know you and gaining knowledge from, talking to you in conversations and of course coming on the program and educating us, we understand that astral travel is really when you have the ability, that out of body experience, mm-hmm. to understand that out of body where the soul actually, can come out of the body and travel. And of course I stand to be corrected, I'm still learning.
No, that's really good because you were right on the money. People, astral traveling is when your spirit can leave the body at will. And you're in the astral form. So you're not really seen, but you can be seen by certain individuals.
Gifted people.
Gifted people.
Understood.
Now, at the beginning, people have to do a lot of serious rituals. Some are born with the gift, so they go beyond the rituals.
Okay.
Some people read up and try to actually learn how to do it. Now, when they leave the body, it's hard to describe, but it's a wonderful feeling. You are weightless. There's no pain. You can go through walls, windows. There are no restrictions or boundaries that are in that. Now, one of the problems, Elisa, is when people start to astral travel and they learn how to astral travel, it becomes addictive from the feeling and the ability that you can do.
May I say something,
Sure.
please, Master Eric? And I think before we go any further, I need to be responsible enough to say to people, this particular topic is one that's very sensitive. And many people may try to go exploring. There are some people that are also addicted to Google and the internet and social media and go Google how to astral travel or whatever, or may read something about it and think they can explore. But let me tell you something, that's a very dangerous thing to do, because you may try it and then you may not be able to re-enter into your body, and there are many, you follow what I'm saying? So please do the responsible thing and get good, proper advice, or before you even attempt to think about doing it or trying, which is fine, make sure you find someone who is professional, who knows what they are doing, who are sincere, you follow, with a lot of knowledge.
And throughout the show, I'm going to give warnings.
Great.
Because what we have to look at is, one, I tell everybody I meet, Google, the internet, is fantastic. But the thing is, some of the content that you're searching and you're looking at is not accurate.
He's correct.
So now, you might be doing something that is not good, all right, or good for you.
That's right.
Now, you need to find, like she said, a teacher. Somebody has a guru. But then, there are rules. And the rules is, the teacher has to monitor every progress that you do to make sure that your frame of mind is stable and that you will not abuse it. But here's the problem. People may not abuse it during training, but once they know, they can go anywhere they want, almost undetected. It becomes, their ego gets huge, one. Number two, they feel like they're unstoppable. Because who's going to stop them? Well, let me explain something. If you're doing this, before I get into the topic, beware. Because one, if a teacher or a guru is actually teaching you, he will have you assigned to an angel or a deity. Now, before you astral travel, you call upon that angel or deity to go with you. One, there's a balance. If you have an angel or deity with you, I don't think you're going to do anything that you're not supposed to do. Number two, it's for protection. When you're out there, out of body, you are going into the different realms, which is made up of positive and negative energy. So don't think you're going to be in bliss all the time. Or don't think that it's always going to be good things around you all the time. So you have to protect yourself, you know, when you're doing the astral traveling.
Master Eric, may I ask, like you were just saying, so you actually see other spirit when you're out of body, or you have that out of body experience, like
Right.
how long did it take you to master that art?
Well, it depends. At the beginning level or
Well,
you
to
know,
master the
level
art.
3.
Now you are I mean, you've mastered the art of doing it. You do it, you help people.
Right.
You help people throughout the world.
To be honest, I actually trained over 6 years for it.
6 years. I just wanted to make
Okay.
that point very clear. 6 years.
And if anybody's advertising, you can learn it in 3 days, run.
Run. Run.
Because you're just going to scratch the surface. Now, the reason I'm saying this is not to promote it. It is to actually explain what is going on, what are the cases that are coming to us from the penetration of astral travel. So when you go out into that realm, now when you master it, there's a difference. There's a big difference between mastering and being able to do it. Now when you go out and you master it, there is no time. You are beyond time. You are beyond space. You are beyond matter when you master it. Now, when you're out there, you can bend time. You
Can
can
you
bend
explain that?
matter. So, what I mean by that, you could go out and you could be out there for 2 hours. But when you return, you were only gone for 5 minutes.
Oh.
Okay? Now, when you go out there and you're really good, you can change your own form into what you want to be when you astral travel.
Really?
Okay? So, what I'm trying to say now is people come to us
Yeah.
and they're saying we're being interfered with.
Right.
And they see the outline. Sometimes, not everybody. Some people will see the outline of the individual. And they say, but it looks like a man I know. A neighbor or a man down the
that
street.
explains when you say you could take any for. Oh, I
Right.
remember one day. Remember we were doing the show, conversations, and remember somebody sent a message saying that they actually saw a form pulling the child. Remember that
Correct.
case? Yeah,
And
on the
pulling
show
the-
we had
pulling the child
yes,
off
we
the
saw
bed.
That, yes, we had somebody that actually sent in a message saying that they experienced that.
And
I remember that clearly.
actually, the that case we have actually started to look at.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's a pretty serious case. Now, a person just wrote and saying, is that like quantum physics? Yes. To where time can be bent. Einstein, all the top geniuses know it exists, but they didn't have no way to prove it. And they're still working on it. So when you astral travel, you can go from one position like Trinidad and Tobago,
Yeah.
and you could be in New York City in 3 seconds. So what I'm saying, you're bending the speed of light. Okay, there is no time, there is no space, there is no matter. Okay, now, a lot of people, they're being interfered with. They're being raped. Okay, and when we go out, the first thing we're sensing for is demonic spirits. Spirits that, you know, are sent to do things, to harm or keep you down. Then the second thing we're looking for is souls, wandering souls that never left the earth. And they're wandering. So we have to go through a systematic way of separating what is happening from what.
So,
are the
Master Eric,
options.
let me ask. So, when you say in terms of souls that are lost that never went on, they died or they're still searching to find their way and
No,
things
they
like-
died.
They died already, and they are now perhaps on their path or they're
No,
wandering.
they're trapped here.
They're trapped. Okay.
Right. We had a program on that.
Yes, so they're trapped here. When someone like your good self would astro travel, do you then encounter such souls?
Yeah, sometimes you even run to opponents that try to take you down while you're in that astral travel realm. Okay, so this is where I say you need protection. There are people out there all the time that are astral traveling. Once you focus and you focus on China, you're in China. Or if you go India or whatever, it's instant. Now, what I'm trying to say, some people use it to spy on people. And in Trinidad they say Mako. But it's to intrude on people's private space.
But that's invading your privacy to the max.
Correct. So, like I'm saying, they are doing this with no rules, no restrictions, and they are violating what they call the spiritual code because, and you'll be penalized for it. You may think you're getting away with it now. You're going to be penalized from it, not from me or anybody else. It's going to be from the Supreme. Now, let's go over it again. Now, when you go into the people's private space, you can change yourself into an animal. It could be a cat. It could be a bird, right? And they are actually there watching you, listening to everything that's being said. And when you take a shower, they're watching you. Okay?
When you take a shower.
No, I'm saying they're watching everything, even your private acts in the bedroom. You know, they are actually, then they start to play and fool around with whoever they want to. Now they're feeling it. They can't see really him.
And you do get a lot of cases like that.
I get a lot of cases like this. Now they think that they cannot be detected. Well, I want to let you know now, you can't. The reason is, when we go, if it's not that, then we're actually looking at, it's an astral. It's a person projecting into the space. Mm-hmm. When they're done, they go back out. Mm. Now, what they don't understand, that when you astral travel, you are leaving a trail of energy. That trail can be traced back. You can trace it back, just like if somebody sent you an obscene email.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah.
You can trace back that IP address back to the computer that it came from.
Yeah.
We can do that spiritually.
Nice.
Okay? So, people need to understand that, one, it's against the rules to start invading on people's property or in their area of space. The next thing, the reason they also use astral traveling is to spy on your opponents. Companies. Companies will pay people to astral travel to gather information and bring it back to them. So it's like an espionage.
Yeah.
Right? So now, when you leave the body, people, when you first start, it takes time because you have to get used to your astral body. Now, the astral body is a spiritual copy of your physical body. You're light as a feather. Okay? So now you're able to go. But you have to be aware. Once you leave the physical realm and you go into the spiritual realm, it's a whole different cup of tea, people. You've got so many people out there experimenting. Yeah. They're trying to say who is the best, who can take who down. Now, people can commit murder from the astral sense to the physical. I want you to understand this. This is a serious topic. So, the question is, why would people desire this so much? Some people have the ability to do it to help people. You can actually astral travel and you can actually heal people from a far distance.
I know that's what you do sometimes.
Right. So what I'm saying, that is the proper way. But I never leave without that escort. Never.
Well, you
That
follow
also-
protocol.
that
That's why you
also-
have us.
No, the reason is, if you have that connection with a deity and an angel, and when you're escorted, they're going with you. Now, their power can work through you also to help
To
that
heal.
individual.
Ah, understood.
Okay? But to astral travel, and I'm going to say it again, and violate people's bodies,
Yeah.
their homes, their work, you better think twice. You know, and when you come back, now there was a person a couple of years ago that they were trying to invade into my space, but I can detect it. And I let him come in. I felt him, you know, a ways away. So I let him come. And I let him come. And I let him come. And guess what? I slapped his butt clear out in the universe.
Okay, so tell me what you did.
I waited till he got to me. I went out of mine and just sent him out with energy.
So it was like a spiritual.
You can blow him with energy. And that will send him out.
So was that an out of body experience that you had, or
Yeah, I
did
had
you
to
just
do
have
that.
the energy? Okay,
I had to do that to equal him.
understood.
Okay, so you can counter people who is invading you and entrenching. But the question is, when you astral travel, can other beings, not people, can they hurt you? And the answer is yes.
Of course, I'm thinking.
Okay, you've got so many demonic beings out there in the universe, just like we have them right here on Earth.
So,
We're in a parallel dimension.
so could you give us some ideas of how do we feel? How do we know? How do we suspect? You know, some of us, we have a discerning experience, something is not right, something feeling a little spooky. But I mean, that's, I'm just trying to, but then give us some signs or some, you know, information on how we could detect and perhaps then understand something is wrong, let's get help. Let's get somebody like you to, you know, to get involved to help us.
Okay, so when you are showering, do you feel like you're really being watched? You'll have that feeling. You can feel it, Zalisa.
You have a discerning
I know you're
spirit.
laughing.
No, because
but-
I'm thinking, this is really terrible, you know.
No, it's true. The next thing, when you're laying down, does your bed sink down? Do you feel it like somebody's starting to set on your bed? Is somebody laying behind you if you're laying on your side? And they're laying with you on the bed and you feel it? I've got all these cases coming in. And then, is it that you are being violated? And you can't see him, but you can feel him. There's a difference. And I just got one right here. That's happened to me recently. Just came in.
Well, you know something? Somebody from abroad just said that they, somebody that they know said to a sibling, yes, they are aware of that and they travel.
Right.
So when I am thinking and living in a bubble thinking, what is this and how, people are actually aware that, look, somebody just said that it happens. Another person just sent a message from abroad that they know of somebody that says that that's what they do. And that's terrible.
They said the sinking of the bed like someone sat on the bed. Yes.
What?
So what I'm saying, this is happening all over, Zalisa.
Well, Master Eric, I'm telling you here in the world, if that happens, I picking up my phone and calling you so fast. You need to come and check because that is a very scary experience.
Now,
You know, that is very, I mean, it's we may laugh or be in the moment. Look, my paws are raising because it's going to be, for me, a very scary experience.
well, this isn't to, you know, we got another message. Good evening, Master Eric and Zalisa. Awesome program. My question was just asked by Jalisa. Okay, you just asked the question they
good,
had.
good, nice.
Okay, how do the ordinary person know that they are in the astral? Wait, they are an astral traveler in their home,
Yeah.
right? Thank you for the knowledge. You're welcome. But the thing is, and people, this is not to make you paranoid.
No,
By
it's
no
not,
means.
but it's building an awareness of things that we
Correct.
should be aware of.
Now, what you can do, and these people hate it. They hate it. The cases,
Yeah.
Zalisa, that we dealt with, instead of fighting them and trying to catch them, why don't you just block them permanently?
So how could we do that?
How you do that, there's a way to seal your house spiritually. And it creates a boundary to where they can't come from above, through the walls, nothing. They have to stay outside.
So do we need someone like yourself, an expert, to come seal our house, or can we do that
No,
ourselves?
no. I would have to do it. It's an ancient art, and very few people know how to truly. Now, people, don't fall for the gimmicks. Now, what I mean by that is people will come and say they're going to tie your property, right? They're going to seal it,
Yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. Well, they get done and they say, okay, it's tied. Where's my money? And they're gone,
Yeah.
right? No.
Scam artists.
When I and my team seal a place, when I'm done, I already made everybody walk outside. And the reason I did that, get out of that atmosphere.
Okay. Children, everybody, leave
Everybody.
the house. Okay.
Now, when I seal the house, I would tell each one, one at a time, walk up to the door, walk into the doorway and stop, and close your eyes. They will start to move like this. That energy that's doing the field, it'll actually move your body. So when I do that, that is confirming to the people that you're doing it for, that when they feel it themselves, it's done. There's no question. Okay, so everything, when a spiritualist comes and they try to do some work, which some can do some good work, right? Make them show you. Make them feel, let you feel what you're actually doing. But once you seal it, they can't astral into your area.
So you always put me on the spot. Let me put you on the spot now. Master Eric, we know if your house is dirty, you must sweep and mop it and clean it to clean out all the dust and the dirty things. Now we're learning that there are negative energies or bad people do bad things to good people sometimes for evil reasons.
Oh, but
right?
that's been from the beginning of time.
Right? So now if we are experiencing things like you explained, you have a feeling of a presence, you're feeling uneasy, weird things happening in your house, you're sitting, you're seeing things moving, whatever. You know then, there's no, you're not crazy, something is wrong spiritually in your home. When you and your team, because you
Right.
work with a team, when you and your team come into, or you go into homes, when you say you do a spiritual cleansing and sealing, can you explain that to us? What exactly is that, so that we could have a better understanding?
Yes. Spiritual cleaning is where you will go in. First, you have to authenticate. That's prior to the cleaning. A lot of people, they'll come in and they say they're experiencing X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Right? Well, you do not guess. You have to authenticate what is going on. Well, there's no way to properly authenticate. So I tell people, we're is it okay? We're going to come to your place,
Right.
walk it, and we will let you know if it's clean or not. And there are some places, Elisa, where we go in, there's nothing there. The people just wanted that reassurance
Yeah.
that there wasn't nothing there.
Okay. And you're
All right.
honest enough to say, well, you're
No,
all right.
there was 3 last week or the week before.
Yeah.
But when we do authenticate, like I said, there's a process. Now, when you feel it, I've been training my guys to where they can identify what it is. Whether it's a
Wow.
hybrid spirit, whether it's a fallen angel, whether it's a legion, whether it's a soul. Now, it could have been a loved one
Yeah.
that hasn't left
And just need help to move on.
and they want to move on. So it wasn't long ago when we went to clean a house. That's to pull out demons,
Yeah.
right? We pulled out the demons, but I explained before that they have held her husband back. He just died.
Yeah.
It was like 6 months prior or a year, I forget.
A
And
year after he died and he was still around?
the demons wouldn't let him go because they were in the house when he died.
Oh.
So they can capture your soul, right? So when we pulled them out, I told the lady, I said, when we pull them out, afterwards, we will give you 2 minutes with your husband. So she says, what do you mean? And we said, he's wanting to go. So when the soul comes up to you, we're going to step back. You've got 2 minutes that you can talk to him. If there was anything that wasn't said that you wanted to say. And when he started walking up to her and I started walking back, she started bawling because she said she felt him.
Oh.
And she started telling him things, and I won't repeat what she said, but it was things that she wasn't able to say
Yeah.
before. And exactly 2 minutes, I have to come up, and then we send him off.
Oh.
Okay, there are ways to send people off, loved ones that were stuck here. Now, besides being trapped, and we talked about this before, a soul can decide to stay back. Why? When you leave your body, everyone, you have semi-divine sight. What that means, you can see everything at once. So you'll know right then whether someone that you love is in danger, somebody's trying to do something to them. So they can make that decision to sacrifice themselves, stay back, and help and warn those people.
Yeah.
Okay? So, back to the astral travel. So sealing the properties, Elisa, is a must. Now, if you're experiencing any of these signs, you need to call. If you have a good spiritual leader where you're living, because we're dealing with multiple countries now, seek their advice. If they can't, we also fly out and we do people. You know, we can come, make sure it's clean, and we can seal the property. And you're not going to have that problem again. But, Zelisa, why is it that religions stand in the way? They stand in the way. And I can't understand, because the universe is made with all these things. God's allowed certain people to have these gifts. Why? For one, he's testing them. He's going to test them. Are you going to do it for the good, or are you going to do it for selfish reasons? Right? So I don't know where religions got this idea that this can't happen or this don't exist.
Well, I was just about to say, for those non-believers or people who, I mean, you're entitled to believe what you choose. It's your choice. But for those people who are, are totally convinced that this doesn't happen, God wouldn't make people and give them these special gifts if God was not aware that you've got these evil things that are happening. And you need people who are specialized, who are aware of what they're doing, and are there to help you. And again, I am pleading with people, if you know you're in such a situation, just like when you have a pain and you go to the doctor, you get cut and you go to the doctor, you have a legal problem and you go to a lawyer. When you have a spiritual problem, get help, please. And make sure you find someone who is authentic, someone who is true at what they do, and not someone to, how they say, milk you and take every, because there are people out there, that's what they do.
True.
They take advantage of people.
So let me give you an example. And don't do this, people. You're going to get somebody killed. Do you know if you die in the spiritual world, your body dies here?
Right.
I want you to understand
I
that.
was about to ask that question. Of course, because you don't have any, you see out of, there's
You're
no
out of body.
Spirit, exactly. So you're dead. So sometimes, sometimes when you hear people, I'm not saying this happens, I'm just asking Master Eric.
Yes.
Sometimes when you
They are clinically dead. But in reality, their body is in transcendental limbo.
Master Eric.
So this is why we had the program. That's why you do not bury people for 72 hours, regardless of your faith. Because the body, if the soul does happen to come back in, your spirit, right? Your body can revive. Even if you had no vitals, okay? See, this is something, people, that it's hard to understand. It's maybe hard to conceive.
Yeah, if you not have knowledge, that's
Right.
why we say knowledge is power. And these programs have been designed to give you knowledge, to have a better understanding. Okay?
Now, one thing you do not do, some people does not travel on their own. What I mean, at will. They're not that good yet. So what they do, they want to get something of yours. If they could get a ring, piece of clothing, they could do X, Y, Z.
Wow.
Now they're using your energy like a GPS to come to you. Okay, so there is many ways they can violate your space.
This is really unreal. Master
Okay.
Eric, I know you have some messages.
Yeah, let me pull
so
it up.
while you do that, I'm just going to remind people of your numbers here in Trinidad. 1-868-354-4459. 1-868-354-4459. And 1-868-497-7226. All right?
So this person, they ask, what happens if they bury or burn you and you're in the spiritual realm?
Oh, gosh.
Well, let me give you an example. If you know what you're doing, they can't. Like I said, you can manifest. You can actually use the universe's energy and the matter to your benefit. So when something negative comes towards you, you can put up a boundary. They cannot cross that boundary.
So that's what you actually do when you go in. You and your team go in. Well, first you go, you understand how serious what is going on. Yes, you identify if something is wrong. Then you go back at a convenient time. You and your team.
We set the date.
Right,
And we
then
clean.
You clean.
Now,
What is a cleaning?
a cleaning is where you go in and it's not sweeping and mopping the house.
Right.
Okay, we already know that the demons or the souls are in there.
Right.
Okay, then what we do, we go in and you have to pull them out. You cannot cast them out. You got to pull them out. Then we open up a gateway. And when they go into the fire, you will see the tornado go way up in the air. They are leaving. Then you seal off the gateway. Because if you cast it out, it's down the road. It's going to come back.
Or may harm somebody else.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, no, you have to actually. Oh, Here's another question.
why you have
I
to
didn't
know what
see
you're
it.
doing.
I didn't see it earlier.
Uh-huh.
It came in. How accurate? Now this is a movie. How accurate was Doctor Strange's portrayal of astral traveling?
Good question.
And I have to be honest. I saw this movie, and
I haven't seen it, so
when
I
I
can't
saw the
comment.
movie, there's a couple movies
Okay.
that when I saw,
Yeah.
I told my wife, I said, whoever the writer was
Yeah.
had to have talked
Yeah. Got good information.
to a master
Uh-huh.
to get how real he could make it in the movie.
Because it was accurate.
It's very accurate.
So I'm going to go look at the movie now.
Doctor Strange. It's not that I'm promoting it,
Yeah.
but it's a
question that
it's a
came
good
in.
movie.
So then that's kind of accurate to what you're
Correct.
Good. So you're not going to look at the movie.
When you are battling them, you are in a different dimension.
Yeah.
Now, in that show, it showed how they bent the buildings, how they were manipulating, how the regular society, how they were seeing the world, you're manipulating it within your battle. And that can happen.
Okay.
Now, let me give you an example. I took my meditation team. Now, when they get to a certain point, not to where they can go on their own, I'll have them go in their homes on the final day, and they'll bathe, and then at a certain time, they'll start to meditate. And I'll tell them, focus on me in meditation. Well, the next thing they know, I did an experiment, and there was a doctor and a psychiatrist in my prayer room, sitting
Yeah.
against the wall. They wanted to actually see how this works. And then, to make it even more real, I told everybody, when you come back, do not message on a group chat. You will message me one by one, and you will state what you saw and what you experienced. So when they started to meditate, I brought them all into my prayer room, all their spirits. From the prayer room, I take them up as a group. And they experienced everything. But there was this one individual, and I know we got people downstairs and they're watching too, and they're laughing because they know this individual and they knew what happened. There was a demon, a guy, trying to kill him. So I already knew that. So I set the stage in that realm to where he was going to be by himself to lure that to him. Now, when that happened, when it was coming at him, a negative, he could see it. It looked terrible. He looked up and he saw me and my guru that died. And all of a sudden he saw us change form and we wiped him out. Okay? When we came back, he wrote and said, "Was I bait? Did you use me as bait, like fishing?"
Oh my.
And he was glad. He was
Goodness.
glad. Why?
Yeah.
It's gone,
Yes.
right? So you can battle demons within this realm or in any other realm. Okay? So when everybody came back, his report was different. I actually told the people what happened before everybody started writing in. When he wrote in,
Yeah.
it was exactly what I stated. The next thing was
Amazing.
everybody else wrote in singular
Yeah.
and had the same story, what they experienced when they were out there. So people, it can be achieved. And what I recommend everybody out here is not to actually try to go into the astral travel. It's better to learn how to meditate properly and go to many different realms that way. It's more safer. You're not going to be tempted to violate people's privacy and to entrench in their personal space. Now, when people, one mistake they have, Zelisa, I've seen people that try to astral travel on their own. Then they end up coming by me. Why? They're sick. Or they're in constant pain.
I
And
dare
I'll
not
say,
interfere with that.
Here's what happened. And I told them, you did not do this before you started. You did not do this after you came
Because
back.
I'm sure there's protocol and a
There's
procedure.
protocols.
Master Eric, this came in. A special good evening to you, Zelisa, and to Master Eric. Interesting conversation came in from Alvin. Thank you, Alvin. Have a great day.
You know, I like it when people write in because we're seeing
you
they're
know
listening.
that they're, yeah.
You know, but the main thing, people, is if you think that you're experiencing any of these things, you contact your spiritual leader if you're in another country. If you're in Trinidad and Tobago or up the Caribbean, you can contact us at 1-868-354-4459. You can call or WhatsApp or send a message. Because let me tell you something. These people need to be stopped.
Yeah.
They need to be stopped. They're causing havoc. Now, I had one case. Remember 4 years ago about the Gasparilla buck?
Yeah, yeah.
And 70 spiritual leaders went
That
down
made
and tried to take
news
it
in
out.
Trinidad and Tobago. Hundreds of people went.
Correct.
Tried to get help from
And they kept saying it was a buck. But
Yeah.
when I was the last one that went,
Yeah, you and your team had gone in.
and then we went and took it out.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a buck. It was a hybrid. But then, remember when they said their book would be missing?
And
Or
all
their
the food. It was eating all the food.
Their Bible was missing.
Yeah.
A lot of things. So they had to tie down everything. Now, the first thing I checked, but it revealed itself to me for 1 second when I hit that property. So I knew what it was. There's other cases to where it wasn't a hybrid spirit, a demon. It was an astral travel.
Ah.
So now they can actually go in and physically, if they're good, you can pick up physically something and go out with it. Okay? So these are different things. When
So
you
they
go
could
out
steal
to,
things?
Yes. They can steal many things. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is when you go out, you have to authenticate what's going on, what type of spirit, or is it astral, or what is it? So it's not just an easy ball game to walk in and say, oh, you have a spirit or you have a soul. You need to know what you're dealing with so you can actually stop it. Now there's books out there, and I'm not going to say their name because then everybody's going to start buying these books. But there's books out there that tell you how to do this. But if you read the front cover of those books, it will warn you, do not proceed on your own. You have to have a guru or a teacher that's experienced in this to actually teach you how to do it properly. Now, there was a lady here in Trinidad and Tobago, and she used to do spiritual work for a lot of people. And she was good. She was good. But she got older, so she had to slow that down because the body couldn't take it anymore. And she used to go out and meditate. Well, do you know, and this is what I'm warning people out here, one of her pupils came to see me and said, would you please go see her?
Oh,
She's lost.
lost.
Her body, she's like a vegetable. What happened was she got out there and she went so far she lost her way. So we had to go and find her and bring her back in her body.
How long did that take you to do?
That took me about 35 minutes to find her.
35 minutes. in this realm.
No. By the time I was in her room, where her energy normally is,
Right.
with the physical body.
Yeah.
Now remember, I said you can trace it like you do an email over the internet. You can follow it back to the source. So you use her energy from her body
to get
to trace her.
Okay.
Out
You
there.
didn't have to go out of.
No, we had to go out.
So how long it took you out
35.
there? Okay.
35 minutes
Yeah.
to bring her back. And then when she did come back, it was a few months, and then she passed on.
Oh.
Okay, but she was a very good individual. And she wasn't spying on people. She just wanted to go. When you go out and you really meditate, people, and you go into the realms, it's beautiful. You can't even describe it here on earth. How it feels and what you see and the colors and what it's like to actually move through space. You know, it's a wonderful feeling, but you have to know what you're doing. Now, what she didn't do, she did not put, maybe she did not know, she wasn't taught, but I teach in my classes, which is going to start next month, people, how to put a spiritual rope on you. So it's like tying off and going swimming. You can pull
But isn't that the safer thing
and
to
bring
do?
yourself back.
Isn't that the safer thing to do?
Correct. For
Yeah.
beginners, yes. You do that. But the bottom line, people, astral travel is real. It's being abused every day. It's actually increasing. I would say the cases from 8 years ago to now is probably 250% more. Okay. And people are getting kicks off of violating and watching people in their own private space. And all I have to say is, and I'm not going to judge you, but all I know from all the training I have, God does not look on that lightly. And he will have to deal with you on his own. Now, there is immediate karma that can happen to you.
Pay attention.
Immediate karma can hit you hard, people. Just like those spiritual leaders, there were two of them, and they were infatuating the parents. So they loved him to give their 15-year-old daughters to him to live with him. And they were pregnant. And he was doing this with they were doing this with multiple young females. Well, you know, within about 8 years, immediate karma hit them. They're both in wheelchairs and they can't feel nothing from waist down. Look at this. So now they are definitely not able to abuse it again.
Yeah.
You understand? God works in mysterious ways. So everybody, tonight was just to give you a briefing summary. I mean, we could go way deeper. I can tell you how you enter from one dimension into the other and how you come back. But the thing is the awareness of, if you're feeling somebody's around you, you feel that your bed is sinking, that somebody is sitting on your bedside, or if you sleep by yourself and you feel like somebody is laying up against you, like a person, a man or a woman is cuddling with you, right? It could either be an astral, or it could be demonic, or a soul. If this is happening, don't be a hero. Don't try to do it on your own, because you won't be able to. You contact, again, your spiritual leader, or you contact us at 1-868-354-4459. So, thank you for everybody for, bringing in your questions. Here's another question.
Maybe we should wrap up with this, yeah.
Here's another question.
There's another number you can contact Master Eric at 1-868-497-7226. That's another number you can get Master Eric at 1-868-497-7226. Please, Master.
If two people travel, can you enter each other's bodies? Is it possible to enter the opposite body, kill your original body, and live your life out in a different body? And I have to say, it has been done. Very rare.
You know, I saw an Indian movie like that.
Yeah, but sometimes movies touch reality. But people see the movie and say, wow, that's a wild movie. But it has been done. But you have to sell your soul. I want you to understand there's a contract. So when you do that, you're able to actually transfer from one to the other. But there is consequences, and it's not good consequences, because your soul is not used to that body. And it's going to take a long time. It's going to take time to maneuver and actually adjust into that body. Now, Zalisa, there is ways to where, and I've done it to help people in the hospital in the States, to where you will use someone in that room as a medium, and you enter their body and use their hands to heal.
Okay.
I've done that. But there is no way I would stay in that body. You understand?
Yeah, that's
and that person has to agree prior. You cannot enter without permission. So what I'm saying, people are doing things out here half-cocked. What I mean, halfway. And when you do things halfway, you're going to get hurt. Eventually, you're going to get hurt. You know, and the warning is, you may go out and think you're Superman, that you're invincible, you cannot be seen. When you have that attitude, there's always going to somebody's going to come and knock you on your butt. Because you can't think, you got to be very humble, and you need to stay within the rules of doing this. Because it's a sin if you entrench on other people's space. All right? But Zalisa, I hope you and them, and I want to appreciate you being on the program with me today.
I always, listen, I always leave here enriched with information, with knowledge. And of course, knowledge is power, because then I am now aware. And it's the same for our viewers throughout the world, I'm sure. I mean, I would have seen you walk in a place and you were drawn to a particular area, and you were able to identify something that I know you had no privy or no knowledge of prior, that you felt, and you said, the mother of, I remember, I can't forget that experience. So when you talk here and when you say certain things, I can relate, because I would have had the experience firsthand where you would have intervened and you would have said, and you also said, but I need to get authorization.
Permission.
Yeah. You said that. You're not going to interfere. You're not going to invade. You need permission in order to fix. You can't, and you wouldn't dare unless you get that. And I respect you for that.
That's protocol.
Yeah.
It's protocol. Let me give an example. Like a Hindu pundit.
Yeah.
You have him come to do prayers. Do you know one of the steps? You have to say, who is the owner of this property? Do you understand what we're going to do here today? Do we have permission to proceed? Everything spiritual, you need permission to proceed. If you don't, you're breaking protocol. That means it's going nowhere.
You're correct. A puja is a spiritual experience.
Correct.
You're and a lot of people are not aware of that. A lot of people are not aware of that.
And I'm not against them either because they may not have been trained.
They're not have been told. You know now, right?
Okay, so anyhow, everybody, it's been such a pleasure being with you here tonight. And I want you just to think about it. Also, I've been asking and asking and asking. If you have a topic that you would like to hear, or you had questions, and people just kind of blow you off, or they get upset because you're trying to ask the spiritual person questions, WhatsApp them in. We will actually research, go to the scriptures, we'll go to the sources we need, and we'll try to give you the best answers that we can. All right? So we'll see you next week, people, because next week I'm going to start talking on what are the keys, the special keys you need to do to uplift yourself spiritually.
Nice.
Okay?
Looking forward to that already.
So next week, everybody.
Thank you, Master
And you have a
Eric.
great day.
Yeah.
All right. The Untold Truth, every Friday at 6 p.m. The journey has just begun with Master Eric. Zalisa. A new kind of podcast getting to the root of hidden knowledge. You can join us on Facebook, Conversation with the Zalisa, and YouTube, Master Eric. Your journey has just begun.